Hi all, welcome to another episode of Sportsy, Let's Talk Sports. This is Sid, and today we'll be talking with another interesting personality who came from the banking industry and into sports for last 7 to 8 years now. He's doing really great because the sport that he's the CEO of a team who is a complete tier 2, tier 3 sports. The sports that we knew for many years in India, suddenly what happened with the whole ProKabaddi League and the way it came out. So we'll be talking with my friend Kailash, CEO of Puneri Paltan Kabaddi team, as well as Puneri Paltan table tennis team. Hi Kailash, good to see you on Sportsy, where we talk about sports.
Hi.
And yeah, and great to have you. I really appreciate you accepting this. And it's the Puneri Paltan is what we got connected with, and looking forward to the really exciting inputs that you may have for the industry and parents and a lot of things. So look forward to the nice chat.
Yes, great.
So for the people, Kailash Kandpal is the CEO of Insurcourt Sports, who owns two franchises. One is the big one is Puneri Paltan Kabaddi team, and the recent entry for them is Puneri Paltan table tennis teams. Kailash is I got to know Kailash because of Puneri Paltan few years back, and luckily to be in touch and got to work on few activities. But he's been a banker. So my first question to Kailash is, what is banker doing in the sports industry and leading the whole sports initiative for the Kotak
Yeah.
group?
See, so let me just clarify. Yes, I was a banker and then moved on to sports. It's been an exciting journey, and let me tell you, that sports was always my passion. Okay, even in the corporate world, I used to play a lot of sports and used to represent Kotak as an employee in a lot of these corporate tournaments. Be it table tennis, be it carom, be it cricket, football. We used to participate as a group in a lot of these corporate tournaments. Uh, Uday Kotak himself is an avid cricket lover. Okay, and what I hear that during his young days he was a very good batsman.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so that's the love for sports in Kotak, I would say.
Okay.
And getting into sports, Kotak family got approached by Anand Mahindra, who started the Pro Kabaddi League.
Correct.
And Anand is a very close family friend of Mr. Kotak.
Yes.
And that's why Mr. Kotak got into Pro Kabaddi and owned a franchisee, the Pune-based franchisee. But let me clarify, this is his personal investment. This is nothing to do with the bank. This is his personal team.
Yes.
Which is now run by his son Jay Kotak.
Excellent. So it's a great case study again, where how the sports need a good businessman and a good corporate house to support some of the activities, and because the sports is going to grow with the good investment, because the gestation period is little longer, and we need people to sustain that for certain time.
Right.
I think it's
and also sports now is also turning into a business ventures for many of these corporates. So how do we manage it professionally? Okay, one is the player aspect, and then also the business aspect. Because you get sponsorship deals. You get you have social media platforms where you need to market your team. Yes. And also then now with within larger investments coming in, young academies are setting up. So how do you run a entire unit professionally? I think that's the experience a large corporate house gets when they come into sports. Then to how to make the entire atmosphere very professional. So and it's great that students, young students from your institute are coming out, the Symbiosis, which you represent, and then there are many others. They come out and they are very enthused and are looking to work as professionals. So they get treated from a corporate as real professionals who are working into this and converting this business into a profitable venture.
Right.
Ultimately.
I think you touched upon that point pretty well, because I was going to ask you, what are the similarities between the banker life or the corporate life to the sports life? I think you connected that pretty well with getting professionalism is very important. You can't be taking it for granted, because the talent is raw. and it has to be nurtured, it has to be developed over time. I think it's great. So
Plus investment in sports is a very large investment. Okay, we are
yes,
talking about uh, crores of rupees coming into
yes,
sports. Okay, so to
correct.
manage, so if you have a professional setup, run by professional you know members, and they
Mhm.
have a clear KRAs on their roles and responsibilities,
Yeah,
then only with the output will come.
correct,
Yes.
exactly.
One is the
So
players who perform,
mhm,
and give the athletes, they perform and they give their output. Okay,
correct,
and at the end of the day, one team will lose, one team will win. That's the that's the end result. Okay, and everybody wants to be a champion. Okay, but in terms of business, how do
mhm,
you run the entire business? Because there are various touch points,
correct,
and how do you manage it professionally? Okay, be it team logistics, be it support staff, be it give the players the what kind of diet that goes into a
correct.
player's well-being,
The whole
and also
ecosystem.
in terms of media training, how does a player behave, and what are the team attributes which
Right.
that player needs to carry. So all that comes from a professional unit, business unit, and that comes when young members from your college, they come out and they join us, and then that's how we move forward.
Exactly. So I think it's a good start about how the career or how the corporates got involved and how you are playing the role from there to here. Everything. Kabaddi has been played in India for years, like it's hundreds of years. It's a very old game that we call it our traditional game. What has PKL done to Kabaddi?
See, PKL has packaged the entire kabaddi into a very exciting format. Okay, so PKL has done the do or die raid, the concept
Hmm.
of do or die
Correct.
raid, the third raid, which is introduced, which was existing, but now during over the years, the third raid was eliminated from kabaddi, but they got it introduced, so that makes it exciting. So every third raid, which means every third minute, there
Hmm.
is some excitement. Okay,
Right.
either is catching the raider or the raider is getting some points. So there is
Correct.
excitement. So that's holding the crowd. Second is super tackles and super
Hmm.
raids. Those concepts got introduced.
Right.
The commentators, the live commentary,
Yeah.
okay, which adds they gets the adrenaline of your spectators also going.
Correct.
Then the entire camera work and the entire broadcast
Hmm.
effect which they get with the close cameras and the different angles which they get on the court, that makes it interesting. And of course the game itself is so interesting and so
Yeah.
fast, and
Correct.
that you really want to watch it. So
Yes.
all that packaged nicely and presented by the broadcaster, which is Star Sports,
Hmm.
I think that's what got the game the popularity.
Yeah.
Not to mention throwing on Bollywood and cricketers to come in and support
Yeah.
the sport has
Correct.
definitely helped. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the cases where it actually has helped. In football, unfortunately, it has not helped the way it helped IPL and Kabaddi. But I think it's a phenomenal, and I got an opportunity to work with Pink Panther in the first season, and we saw the Abhishek's involvement and the whole Bachchan family getting involved. So
Yes,
it was
yes,
so
yes,
amazing,
yes.
and
And also, what happens is, since you are very close to the court, okay,
yes,
you get a ringside view. So when you're
correct,
sitting there, even in the stands, you get a very close view
yes,
of the players and of the mat and everything. And that what gets you very exciting when you go to watch a match.
correct.
Or even if you're
So
watching at home, okay, there's never a dull moment in kabaddi. And also the game is only for 40 minutes, so it does
correct,
not take away too much of your time. So it's like you're watching an evening soap opera for 40 minutes.
right,
That's about
right,
it.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, so we have seen the Kabaddi having one season every year. Then from 8 teams to 12 teams, they tried 2 seasons in a year, but went back to having a single season. What do you think the journey of PKL has been, and how Puneri Paltan has been able to cope up, with the season? Because this also works on the morale of the team owners as well as player, because uh, the championship has not happened, but the stability was always there. We are all like Puneri Paltan has always been there and kind of just missing it. So how do you work on these two aspects from the corporate house perspective, who is also looking at sports as a passion and business together, and players who are working on winning, but it's not happening. It has not happened. So how do you think that morale has been taken care of in
See,
last 7 years?
I think that has got to do a lot with the team culture. Okay, and also how we build a support staff. Okay,
Right.
we've told our players to go there and enjoy the game. First thing is, whatever we do, we've got to start enjoying it.
Right.
And yes, winning is important, but it's not the only thing that matters. Okay, we've got to play hard. We've got to give it everything. And if at the end, if the result is not in our favor, we accept it. Now, if you see that, barring season 1 and 2, our performance has been quite decent. We've always made to the playoffs.
Correct.
Okay, and that's because of this team culture which we have, that we've got to give it a fight. Okay, unfortunately, last season, our main raider Nitin Tomar got injured.
Correct. Yeah.
And couple of players were carrying injuries before the start of the tournament, and hence our performance was not up to the mark. But this is a sport,
nature,
and there's nothing beyond which we cannot control. That's why the performance of last season has gone down. But we take it as one-off case, and we are looking forward for this season whenever it happens. We don't know when it is going to happen, whether it happens in December or get pushed on to Jan. But we are all pumped up. We are in touch with our players. We are doing our bit of Zoom calls with the fitness trainers. Monitoring their diet. Giving them pep talks, having a weekly call with them on what's been their progress.
Right.
Things like that.
So, as a CEO of the unit, what has been the toughest thing that you encountered, other than the current pandemic, which is little unprecedented? But other than that, as a CEO of the team, what has been your toughest moment?
The toughest moment is, holding on to the fans' emotions. The fans, they always want a team to win. Okay, right. And when the performance goes down, okay, they don't mince their words, so they give it everything. Okay, that sometimes demotivates the player also. Right. Okay, it does not directly reflects to us, but for the players, it's sometimes gets little demotivating. To handle those players and tell them, okay, these are fans. They will appreciate you when you do well, and the same fans will throw stones at you if you don't perform well. Now, okay, yeah, we understand that there are certain strategies which went wrong during our play, but you should not take their comments very seriously. Just give them time; they'll still love you. It's just that it's it's just the heat of the moment, and they've seen you lose a match. They feel very they are very passionate about their team. They want their team to perform well, and it's just that the emotions are coming out. So let it pass. They will come back to you after a couple of days.
Yeah, I think the emotions are there because they love you. So I think that has to be understood.
And they want you to perform the best every time and come out winner.
Yeah. So so as a role, there's unfortunately as an outsider, I have not seen much of the off-season engagement. It has started growing a little bit. I know Puneri Paltan is doing the school league and the college leagues, and a lot of things are happening. But as PKL, we have not seen much of the off-season engagement. So, do you think that has hampered the growth of PKL from where it could have gone to where it is now?
See, I would not say it is hampered. Yes, we have to do activities, and all teams have realized that. And you will see a gradual change. Unfortunately, we are hit by this COVID situation. Yeah. Otherwise, you would have seen that PKL as well as the other franchises are doing their bit in their market, okay, to help and grow the sport. Okay, be it talent hunt, be it starting of academies. We've started our own academy.
Correct. Yeah.
So so those things are happening. So and also let's understand that Kabaddi is just a 5-year-old sport right now. Okay. Yes. Okay, and we cannot compare it with sports which are matured enough. Correct. Or with the EPLs or the Bundesliga leagues, who are been established for years. So we are also in that stage, and I think give it couple of years, you will see Kabaddi all over.
No, and phenomenal. The growth of Kabaddi has seen is phenomenal. To be very honest, in 5 years, 7 seasons, I think it is the. I don't think any other sport other than say cricket is taken. IPL is considered, but other than that, this kind of growth nobody expected
Right. Right.
to happen.
Right.
So you just touched upon a point about the academy that you have or the grassroots development that you have. Uh, what is the proportion of the enrollment of the kids from the tier 2 tier 3 vis-a-vis urban when it
See,
comes to, because
uh,
I'm talking as a parent as well. My son plays football, but when kabaddi is happening, PK is happening, he's excited about it. He's playing in the here in the courtyard. Their friends are playing together kabaddi as well, which I never expected them to play and to understand also, but which is a great improvement. But uh, are those kids coming into the training, grassroots level development training that you have, or it's more still focused towards the tier 2 tier 3?
so as we speak, and as you rightly pointed out, when Kabaddi happens and when PKL happens, the urban kids are very excited and they take it to school, they take it to their society and they play.
Yeah.
Once Kabaddi goes, okay, they don't talk much about Kabaddi.
Okay.
Currently, we have tier two and tier three cities kids coming in and enrolling in our academy. But as we grow, and as you see, more and more smaller academies opening up in your neighborhoods, okay, I think that's the time when your tier one city parents will also encourage the kids to take kabaddi as a sport, and also the kids will be excited because they'll have a place where they can go and train kabaddi and understand the game. Let me tell you that and the after IPL, the highest paid athlete in a league is from Pro Kabaddi in India.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the kind of money we are talking about. Raiders are going at Raiders defenders are going above 1 crore. Okay.
Yes.
So that's quite a good money for a 4-month league.
Correct.
It's quite a good money. Yeah.
In fact, very few people in ISL also getting that, and
Exactly.
very few. In fact, handful.
Yeah. That's why I said, apart from IPL, the next highest paid athlete in a professional league in India is from PKL.
Excellent. So
there is money on the table, and tier one parents and kids will realize it once we have some kind of training facility close by to their neighborhood.
But how much interest that have you? I'm sure you must have done some market research. How much interest have you seen from the parents from the tier one city? And I'm asking this question typically from the keeping parents and the growth of sports perspective. So
in terms of watching the sport, in terms of coming to the stadium and watching it, there is phenomenal interest. Okay, let me tell you, my tickets are priced. The well seatings are priced at 6,000.
Yes.
Okay, which is quite steep, but it gets sold out. And I have my stand tickets at 2,500 rupees. That also gets sold out. Especially the weekend. The weekend games are always full. The Friday, Saturday games are always full. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of interest levels.
Yeah.
Now
on the participation. Yeah, participation.
On the playing interest, as I said. Okay. Now, one or two academies will not suffice for, let's suppose, a city like Mumbai or Pune. 2 academies in 2 corners of the city will not suffice. So unless and until we have more academies coming up and more setup where kabaddi, where a parent or a child can enroll into kabaddi and get his skills enhanced,
correct,
I think that's when the tide will change.
I think it has got a potential. I think it's a typical journey that we are at. The how viewer has to convert it into fan, and fan to fanatic. I think this is where right now they are the viewers. I think urban kids are viewers of it. They have to convert it into a fan or the players, or to take it as a sport. So, Kailash, I had an opportunity to sit in one of those the PR session that you do for your players, and I found it very interesting because there were players. There was a Japanese guy. Then there are people who don't understand English at all, and somebody who is only typical Haryanvi heavy Hindi, even if Hindi is also different. So I was sitting there, and it was a different learning for me when I was sitting there for that one of the session that you had. How these players are coming from very humble background. So how do you cope up with these kind of activities when they have to face the camera? They have to face the glamour, or somebody coming and asking for the autograph. So all those things which are happening around them, how do you train them? Because this is not, you're not training them for playing, you're training them to be a player now, so everything around it. So how do you do that?
So we try and introduce a buddy concept, okay, wherein a senior player will take care of a junior player and make him understand, how he has to, probably dress up in when you go for a public facing or a media facing assignment.
Right.
How do you, go when there's a sponsors meet and greet happening? Okay, PR. What we try to do is we have a PR session where a PR agency comes and talks to the players individually. Okay, but the PR training is given to the three four key guys who have to
Right.
talk to media as well as to our fans on a regular basis. So
Right.
it's a slow process which happens. We also have to understand these players are not with us for full time. Okay, they come for a certain amount of time. So
Correct.
we try to train as much as we can, and then we concentrate on 2-3 players where we give complete training.
Mm-hmm.
So how to behave when they go to a breakfast table, how do they behave when they go and talk to media when they lose a match.
Yeah.
That's also very important because when
Very, yeah.
yeah, your emotions are really low when you
Yeah.
lose a match. So how do you handle the media there? So all that, because media is going to ask you cutthroat questions, no doubt
Correct.
about
Correct.
that. You've lost a
Correct.
match, so
Yeah.
you've not performed, so but still not losing your composure, answering to the question, okay, and
Right.
without blaming anybody. See,
Correct.
it may happen that one teammate may have underperformed that day, okay, and that is why the team has not made it. But still,
Right.
without giving away too much to that player and just putting the blame on one single player, how do
Right.
we take it as a team? It's a team sport. How we
It's
take
a
it
team
as a
sport.
team,
Yeah.
and then ultimately also give the right answer. So if somebody is underperformed, is underperformed,
Correct.
but without badgering that person, how do we tell the truth and then come out of it?
Okay. So now moving on from this section to a different section where you started grassroots. How much involvement of girls that you're seeing in this sport now?
See, there are girls who are taking up sports, but again, it is coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Right.
Okay. Urban cities still will take time, I think.
And
I
how
think
much
lack of facility is what is lacking in
okay.
urban.
And I had we had read in between that PKL wanted to start a women's league as well for Kabaddi.
Now, right now,
Uh,
that thing has been parked. So these are all
okay.
rumors. These are all
Okay.
rumors. So there is
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. No, it was just as you said, it's a rumor, so it comes on your ear wherever you hear. But
Yeah.
do you train girls as well in your academy? Uh,
Right now, no. Right now, we are just concentrating on our PKL
okay.
team. So building a team for a B team for PKL.
Okay.
That's
That's the
that's the
focus.
goal.
Okay.
Objective.
So mm, now from the PKL setup for the Puneri Paltan, as we know, the brands are again one of the very key aspects when they get involved with the sport. Because they are the one who are putting in money and also looking at some ROIs. So, what is being your strategy on the activation perspective, what is giving the ROI back to the brand who is invested? Like Force Motors has been your prominent investor for a long time. Kotak obviously is there. Then Kolte Patil was there. So there are multiple brands who come as a part of this. So what is that you give it back to them and on the fan engagement side?
See, apart from the visibility which they get, okay, in terms of at the dealer outlets, we
Mm-hmm.
have meet and greet with our players, okay, at their and they are spread across the country. So we do meet and greet. We do visit their factory.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of employee engagement activities with their employees, and also there are certain schools and certain NGOs which they support. So our
Right.
players going there and talking to those NGOs, to those schools, and motivating those
Mm-hmm.
members is a part of the activity.
Right. Okay. And so when this is happening, see in IPL, one of the people say that the success of IPL is when the families got involved. It became more of a family sport. Also, that's the same thing of the football in Europe as well. Right? So the moment it becomes the community and the family thing, it's very interesting. So, what is the percentage of the families, the whole family getting involved with the as a viewers or the fans of Kabaddi?
No, as I told you, it's a 40-minute sport. So there's the highest, involvement of the family member,
Okay.
because everybody would have tasted kabaddi in some point of their life.
Correct.
Okay, being a 40-minute sport, 40-minute game. Okay, everybody gets hooked onto that thing. I think it's a perfect family
Entertainment.
sport, which includes the women of the house also.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yes.
where do you get to see 14 macho men's at
Exactly.
one
Yeah. Yeah.
single
Yeah.
time? Yeah, yeah,
Correct. Correct. I think Star has done a lot of research on that as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
So now I'm coming obviously coming to a next topic, which is really interesting. As a technology, this is a contact sport. So how much technology or what kind of technology has played a big role in evolving kabaddi from where it was or to where it is right now, or where it can go?
I think involvement of technology is very important in our sports, especially
Hmm.
kabaddi. If you see that various camera angles, if you see, okay,
Correct.
being a sport which is very close to the camera. The camera
Correct.
angles in terms of viewers, the camera angles in terms of team for us, the getting the data of the players. Okay, see, in cricket or in other matured sports, you had data bank from years, but
Hmm.
here we had zero data bank of a player. So capturing those data banks,
Right. Interesting. Hmm.
what kind of raider he is, what kind of raiding skills he has, what is the time when the raider is dangerous. Okay, so there are certain raiders who perform better at the 30th minute of the game till the 40th. Okay,
Hmm.
first 30 minutes may not be that dangerous, but last 10 minutes they become lethal.
Right.
Okay, so how do we analyze that part? Okay, then there are certain players, okay, who have a certain type of skill. Okay,
Hmm.
now if you read, if you understand the data, and if you track them, and if you break them there, okay, the chances of you winning over them is pretty much high. So
Hmm.
complete technology is helping
Right.
each and every team, as well
Hmm.
as the league, and as well as the fans. So fans also, they require data. Okay, if you see at the 33rd minute, the game changes completely.
Right.
Okay, most of the games are changing at the 33rd, 34th minute. Okay, maybe that is a time when the stamina of the players are going down. Okay, so the team which has maximum stamina maybe is lasting till the 40th minute.
Correct.
Maybe the concentration levels are dipping, you
Hmm.
don't know. So
Right.
these are the some certain technologies throwing out this data. Now it is for the
Hmm.
us to read and implement it well
Correct.
on the team. But yes,
Right.
technology has played a very important part in kabaddi.
Oh, okay. And now I have last two questions. I know this can go on for a long time, but last two questions. One is where do you what do you think are the typical career options available for the people who are enthusiasts about sports when it talks about team franchisee or say typically now PKL? If we take the PKL or the Puneri Paltan as a team, what are the typical career options which are there for the aspirants?
So, in terms of business, you've got everything what you would have in a corporate house. Okay,
Hmm.
you have admin, you have logistics, you have marketing. Okay, you have data, which is IT.
Right.
Okay, you talk about support. Okay, support staff there. Okay, you talk about camera.
Right.
Okay, because we have team photographers. So there is various things which are available.
Hmm.
Okay, now it is up to a student what he wants to pursue his
Correct.
career.
Correct.
Okay,
So it's
so it is got a vast
so it is
opportunity. So any
so
league for that
in
matter, be it
mhm.
PKL or any other league, it has got vast opportunity. Now, what do you want to specialize in? Whether
Right.
you want to be a great cameraman or a great photographer, okay, and you can be a part of that team. You want to be a marketing guy when digital is your passion, then in
Right.
digital. If brand and sponsorship selling is, you're good at that, and selling is, you want to be a real good corporate sales
Right.
member, you have that opportunity, and the overall business aspect also can be looked at.
Interesting. And now my the last question. Kabaddi has been our traditional sport as we spoke earlier, and it has been played by handful of countries. It is not something like it's like played like cricket or little lesser than cricket the way it is, but it has seen a phenomenal growth. Where do you see it is growing, and is there a way for it to make it into a more global sport? The PKL going more global than what it is right now. Where can it go from here?
Yeah, see, there are more and more teams participating in this sport. More and more. AK5, which is the federation, is making efforts to reach out to more countries, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and get them playing this sport. Okay, uh, we were the Mashal team was also planning a World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
okay, sometime next year. But I don't know with the current situation
Yeah.
how it is going to be. But I'm sure they have their plans ready, and maybe on a later date they will be in a better position to announce a
Yeah.
World Cup. But yes, the things are there where where we want more teams to participate, more countries to participate, accept the sport. Okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
not yes, India is very good at it, but unfortunately India lost in the Asian Games to Iran,
Yes. To
which
Iran.
means that other countries are also picking up the sport. Korea is a very good team. You should look out for.
Yes.
Bangladesh plays very good kabaddi, and they have some good players. There is Pakistan who is good at kabaddi. Sri Lanka is good. So there are countries now who are accepting it outside Asia also. So you have teams outside Asia also who are
I've heard
accepting.
of teams in Europe as well. They have
Yeah,
Germany and yeah, I
yeah,
think Germany
Germany,
and Sweden as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sweden, yes, and then you have teams from Australia and Argentina also
yeah,
coming.
South America as well. Yeah, South
Yeah,
America as
yeah,
well.
South
So
America. So teams are coming in. Okay, of course they will take time to come
yeah,
to the level where the top 5-6 teams are. But yes, but the sport is getting accepted globally.
you're right. I think it's same thing, right? Cricket, the
Yeah,
top 8 teams, and everybody is now trying to be there. So I think that's the same way it will grow. But as long
and
as people are coming,
yeah, and people are watching the sport. So PKL
yeah,
is got global viewership. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So great. Kailash, I think it was wonderful talking to you about the whole Kabaddi and the PKL and the journey from a banker to a sports industry CEO. I think it's a phenomenal thing, and really appreciate your time on this session. And look forward to see you in person soon. Thank you and
yeah.
take care.
Thanks,
Stay
thanks.
safe
Yeah, yeah.
and
Bye, bye, bye.
see
You
you
too,
soon.
safe.
Bye.
Yes, bye.
Yeah.